Okay, so it's been about 19 months since my chemo ended, and I can really, I think I'm at a point where I can actually talk about how sick you're gonna feel. I had an expectation as to how sick that I was gonna feel, and my expectation was actually met. Unfortunately, it was only after the first cycle where the expectation was met. If you can imagine, your indigestion is much like a really bad hangover. And although I didn't have the head or the lungs of like the flu, I had the exhaustion of the flu. Now, with the chemo treatment for testicular cancer, let's go back to our cycle again. You've got 5 days of chemo or your first week of chemo and then 2 weeks of recovery. However, your first week, you're going to feel sick probably 1 to 2 days into your recovery period. So you'll have about a good 10 days where you'll start to feel better and uh, you're gonna really appreciate that time. However, once you start getting the chemo again into cycle two, you're looking at about 7 days where you're still feeling ill. And then cycle three, you never really feel better. You just start feeling worse and worse and worse. And for me, it was more the upset stomach, the indigestion, the nausea, the constant nausea. It never really stopped. I never got sick. I have been told that people in their fourth cycle um, will sometimes spend the last week, unfortunately, in the hospital just because the nausea gets so bad during that fourth cycle. But I kept telling myself that I can get through it. I can get through it. I never got excessively sick, but the nausea was always there. The only thing that helped me feel better, and my oncologist was fantastic. He gave me a ton of meds for not only nausea, but gastritis, anything having to do with your stomach. Unfortunately, you really begin to. I'm going to say this. You feel like your organs are sick. You can actually feel your organs. They just feel sick all the time. It just towards the end, it just never stops. I learned why people say they are reluctant to go through chemo again because it is really bad. But once the chemo is over, you start to feel better within about 7 days. Slowly, you will feel better. It will continue to feel better. Month after month, you will start to feel better. Your appetite will return. Your taste buds will return. So there is light at the end of that tunnel. So remember, you got this.